Coming up on Spartan Sports Report,
Michigan State football introduces Jonathan Smith as the head coach.
The men's basketball team looks to get back on track against Georgia Southern.
And we are going to break down some Spartan hockey here in the studio.
Welcome into this week's edition of Spartan Sports Report. I'm Ben Shockley.
And I'm Elisa Luker. Ben, Spartans were all over the country competing, but let's start by meeting the newest hire by MSU Athletics.
With the hiring of the new head coach, Jonathan Smith, Michigan State football held a formal press conference to welcome him into East Lansing. Smith said he's excited to redevelop the program with what he's inherited and what he's bringing with him.
The idea of being a program of substance on and off the field, a program where we're going to dive into lives and beyond, just being able to teach them how to be in the deep third in coverage or run a 15-yard in route.
With the transfer portal now open, the MSU roster is looking very different now than it did just a few weeks ago. 15 players have already entered or plan on entering the portal.
After a tough loss on Thanksgiving to Arizona, the Michigan State men's basketball team returned to the Breslin Center to face off against Georgia Southern last Tuesday. Hoping to get back on track and defend home court once again, the Spartans look to get one more win before Big Ten play. In the first half, Jeremy Fears Jr. would get the floater to fall to put the Spartans in front. Trey Holloman did a great job during this game as he's spreading the rock around. He finds Malik Hall on a block on a turnaround jumper. Shortly after, Holloman would locate Jaden Akins, who ignited the Breslin crowd with this monster dunk. Tyson Walker, another one who's doing pretty well, knocked in a jumper from the baseline to extend the Spartan lead as MSU would lead 38-11 headed into halftime. Now on to the second half, A.J. Hogard having a pretty good performance with 12 points as he picked up an easy layup down low. He then came back down the floor and dished it to Holloman for the bucket. Holloman, he would keep it going after finding the bottom of the net from three as Michigan State won handedly 86-55. The Spartans will take on undefeated Wisconsin tonight at the Breslin Center to open up Big Ten play.
MSU women's basketball was back at the Breslin Center this past Sunday after a 2-week road trip to take on the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Junior guard Dee Dee Hageman had a big game in this one. She gets the scoring started with a rare 4-point play here, 3 and the foul. She would hit that free throw and convert the play. Later in the first quarter, Captain Julia Arol going to get it on the wing and drain a deep three. That capped an 18-3 run for MSU. And off the bench, sophomore Theron Halleck contributed a career-high 17 points. She gets the steal and takes it coast to coast. There's the finish. The Spartans, great ball movement all night long. Here Kimball kicks it to Tate, gets it over to Tori Osmond, and there's another three for MSU. Mo Joyner has been a consistent player for the Spartans all year. With another game in double figures, she moves into the lane and hits the mid-range jumper. MSU wins it 89-44 and moves to 7-1 on the year. The Spartans are back at the Breslin Center on Saturday to begin Big Ten play against Nebraska at 2 p.m.
Coming off a fourth-place finish at the Black Knight Invite, the Michigan State wrestling team opened up their dual season at the Mazer Center this past Sunday with a record-setting performance. The Spartans started off with a dominant 34-10 win against Franklin Marshall. This was followed with back-to-back shutouts against Bloomsburg 49-0 and Presbyterian 53-0. This marked the fourth time in program history that MSU has recorded consecutive blanks, with the most recent being over 40 years ago during the 1981-1982 season. The win over Presbyterian also shattered a second record, becoming the team's largest margin of victory in program history. Following the trio of sweeps, the Spartans will continue their road trip at the University at Buffalo this Thursday.
On Saturday, 4 members from the Michigan State track and field team went to Boston University to compete in the Sharon Collier Danville season opener. Noah Sage finished first in the 400 in a pool of 28 runners with a time of 47.65 seconds. Lauren Freeland set a personal best in the mile, clocking in at 4 minutes and 37 seconds, and she finished in 6th place. The Spartans' Carly Stimful and Riley Hugh competed in the 5,000 meter as well. Next up for the Spartans track and field team is the GVSU Holiday Open on Friday in Allendale, Michigan, where more runners will get their chance to start the season. Coming off such a successful cross-country season, Spartan Sports Report's own Ethan Hunter sat down with Director of Cross Country and Track, Lisa Bresnow, last week to talk about the season.
Can you tell me just a little bit about this season to start off? You had a very successful season.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great season. We had actually won last year as well. And so, you know, we definitely came into the start of our season in August with the intention of trying to win again. But of course, we are really process-based. So we didn't talk a lot about winning. We just talked about how we were going to get there, how we were going to behave as a team, expectations from a behavioral standpoint. We have some amazing seniors right now. And so for them to go out their final, you know, cross-country season as Big Ten champs was really a great accomplishment for them.
You know, for somebody that may not be following the cross-country circuit as closely, 4 of the last 5 Big Ten championships on the women's side have come from Michigan State, 8 of the last 13 Michigan State, and then, you know, you yourself have won Big Ten Coach of the Year, Women's Cross-Country Coach of the Year for 3 of the last 4 years, including this year, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And then, like you said, Katie Osika winning the Women's Cross-Country Runner of the Year this year. That's a lot of, and of course the national championship in 2014, you know, so that's a lot of success for a program. Is there any one accomplishment that sticks out to you the most?
Honestly, the 4th place trophy that we have out there from NCAAs during the kind of weird, funky COVID year where we were still competing. We came back, we had our cross-country season in March, and it was right after the indoor championships. And there was just so much adversity, you know, not just what was going on in the world, but within our community here. And to go to Oklahoma State, and again, we were pretty far back at the beginning of the race. I think we were in dead last, which is not where you want to be.
Never.
But I told them, I was like, look, I think this thing is going to go out really fast. We just have to stay calm, be who we are. And they just ran through the field beautifully. We ended up 4th, and it was incredible, you know, and to see like they were actually crying, and to see that type of emotion of everything that they had put into it, of, you know, that year of being at home and being really isolated, to get to come back and do something amazing together. I think that was kind of the one that stands out the most.
Thank you to Ethan and Coach Bresnow for that great interview. We look forward to watching the track and field team this season.
After a bye week, number 7 Michigan State hockey is gearing up to take on number 20 Notre Dame at home this weekend. We were able to sit down with MSU hockey player Red Savage last week to talk about the season so far and his chemistry with his line mates Gavin O'Connell and Joey Larson.
Yeah, I think development's a massive part. I think the way we play is high octane and a lot of pressure and a lot of offense, and I'm playing with great players as well, so that always helps. It's been a ton of fun. Obviously, these 2 guys, Joey and Gavin, have been a ton of fun to play with, and they have a ton of skill. And Joey's obviously got that big shot, and OC is always making amazing plays. So it's been a ton of fun, and a big change for me. We were talking about it on the bench during the Minnesota game. It feels like we can kind of contribute to the game every time we step out on the ice. So it's fun playing with a bunch of confidence and having fun doing so. I think that sweep against Wisconsin was obviously a pretty big high for us, them being slotted number 1, and sweeping them at home is always going to be fun. And I think our whole team played the way we wanted to play, and I think it was a big part of our confidence, being able to prove to not only the country, but prove to ourselves that we could play with anyone. And yeah, I think that was a really fun weekend, both on and off the ice. I think the biggest part of it is the development aspect. They kind of expect us to bring it every single day, and that's how you get better. You don't really improve much just coming to the rink and checking the boxes. It's a lot about intent here, and these guys make sure we're on our toes every day and make sure we're working our tail off every single day. So it's been a lot of fun, and the coaching staff keeps it dialed in, but make sure we're having fun at the same time. As long as we're all here at the rink and putting in the effort, we know that we're gonna develop and we're gonna grow our game, it's exciting because it's probably only going to be up from here.
A lot of excitement for MSU hockey, and to break down some more of the team's hot start, we will send it to Ethan Hunter and Maren Klein in the studio.
Yes, thank you, Ben and Elisa. We're here in a little bit of an unconventional setup here in the studio to break down the 7th-ranked Michigan State hockey team that has just been rolling so far early on. And we're going to go through some plays, see how they're looking through this first half of the season.
Yeah, we're going to break it down first, just looking at this lines. This first line coming, Danny Russell right there. He has a snipe of a shot. Joining him on that first line, Isaac Howard and Carson Dorwart. We're going to see, too, not just their shots, but their passing and their effort. They're going to take shots and still be able to get that puck back and create more chances for them. Carson Dorwart will get it back here right on the circle to put that one in behind BC's goaltender in that game. Now, looking at the second line, a lot of veterans on that line with Jeremy Davidson, Reed Lebster, Nico Mueller here. Davidson's going to feed Mueller. Mueller will send it right back to Davidson for the easy goal. Those 3 vets have a lot going for them on that second line.
Yeah, especially chemistry. You can just see the passes starting to hit sticks better than they were in the beginning of the season. Obviously, that's going to happen as the season progresses. But look at that, a little deflection in. Nico Mueller knows how to use his space, get in front of the goalie, and just kind of create chaos in front of the goal. That's how a lot of goals happen. Over on the third line, though, another high-scoring goal. It's Joey Larson who's just going to net one right top corner. Beautiful. And then also, speaking of top corner, Tanner Kelly, so fast on the fourth line. He can just rock it down through the ice and sink it when you're not expecting it, as he does there.
And we've talked so much about this team's scoring offense, but also looking at their scoring defense too. This is a team that is leading the conference and the nation in shorthanded goals with 5. Here's Reed Lebster against Canisius with some tricky stick work there to bury that one in the back of the net. And then looking forward, we're going to have this top defensive pairing of Artem Levshunov, the freshman, and Nash Nienhaus, the captain, the senior. These two have had a lot of chemistry on the blue line. Levshunov's going to go in for a shot, and like clockwork, Nienhaus is there on the deflection to get it in.
Yeah, eyes on the puck, just beautiful. That line is so much fun to watch, that defensive pairing. And then Trey Augustine, another freshman, just asked to do so much at the beginning of the season by being the netminder for this Michigan State team, and he's done so well, getting these incredible saves. Look at him, throwing his body down, defending incredibly, and just he's who you want back there, especially when you're taking those shorthanded chances and one-on-one goes the other way. You know that Trey Augustine's going to be there. But Maren, he's going away for a little bit here in the month of December.
Yeah, for World Juniors, Trey Augustine, a few other Spartans will be gone, but we're going to take a look back here at Luca DePasquo, the backup netminder, with an absolute highlight of a save here that snagged that some NHL goalies might not even be able to do. And that's really a confidence builder for Michigan State when you already have the 10th ranked goalie in the nation with Trey Augustine and then have Luca DePasquo behind him.
Absolutely, a very deep team. We're going to see how they progress. We're going to go away from you for a little bit over this winter break, but when we come back, we're going to have all of what the hockey team has been doing while we've been gone. We're going to throw it back to the studio, though, to Ben and Elisa.
Thanks, Maren and Ethan, for that breakdown.
This will be our last show of the year, and we are super excited to get back to covering Spartan sports in the new year.
Check us out on all our socials below, and we will see you in 2024.